On her wedding day, the bride noticed something strange. During the day, her husband was full of passion, but once they returned to the estate, he suddenly became cold and distant. Even the butler's eyes were filled with hostility toward her. That first wedding night, her husband didn't even sleep in the same room with her. The next morning, he had already gone to the office. The butler led Olivia into a study, explaining that her husband had put her in charge of managing the entire estate. But with the butler's arrogant attitude, Olivia felt more like a hired servant than a wife. After he left, she slipped out of the office. Just then, a maid named Nella happened to pass by. Olivia asked her to show her around the estate. Despite its grand appearance from the outside, the mansion felt stifling and oppressive inside. Eventually, they reached the top floor. A guest room there caught Olivia's attention. She pushed open the door and stepped inside. The decor wasn't particularly unusual, but as she moved to open another door, Nella quickly stopped her. She told Olivia that without the master's permission, no one was allowed to enter. Not wanting to cause trouble for Nella, Olivia dismissed her and stayed in the room alone. When she finally opened the forbidden door, she discovered an attic. On a dust-covered desk, the name Malcom was carved, her husband's name. Just then, a portrait of a woman caught her eye. She realized the woman in the painting was Malcolm's late mother. Suddenly, a terrifying noise echoed nearby. She glanced down and saw a swarm of rats scurrying across the floor. Frightened, she fled from the attic. Trying to find her way back to her own room, she accidentally entered the wrong one. She was struck by its warm, inviting decor, so different from the rest of the estate. That's when her husband appeared and immediately ordered her out. Olivia explained that she had been frightened by rats in the attic and had entered by mistake. When he heard she had been in the attic, Malcolm abruptly asked what she thought of his mother. When Olivia complimented her beauty, he surprised her by inviting her into his mother's room. There, he spoke softly about the happy times he'd shared with her as a child. Looking into his gentle eyes reflected in the mirror, Olivia leaned in, wanting to kiss him, but to her shock, Malcolm recoiled in fear.
What are you doing?
I thought that's what wives do.
Please return to your room.
Heartbroken, Olivia left the room. Her husband's coldness had shaken her confidence. She felt like a stranger in her own home. 2 weeks later, at the wedding banquet Olivia had carefully arranged, she wore a custom-made gown that matched the latest trends. But when they danced, Malcolm cruelly mocked her, calling her a prostitute. He belittled the banquet she had worked so hard to prepare, dismissing it as worthless. By the end of the evening, they finally shared their first moment of intimacy. But Malcolm treated her exactly like a prostitute, as though she were nothing more than an object for his desire. And that night marked only the beginning of Olivia's nightmare.